Good evening, everybody. We're very happy to see you in this very special evening where we open the 12th International Conference of INSS. In the last few years, we have a tradition of opening the conference with a closed evening which hosts the friends of the INSS and all the speakers. In addition, this evening we're going to be honored by the outgoing Chief of Staff, Eisenkot, and the Chief Commander of Police, outgoing Ronnie Al-Sheikh. We are talking about two events. Last week, the head of the Institute met in Four Eyes with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and he presented the strategic evaluation which was written by the INSS team. The meeting focused on the northern area of Israel with all the risks and opportunities and all the recommendations for policies vis-à-vis Hezbollah, Russia, and others. All these issues are essential to the security of the State of Israel. They're going to be discussed extensively in the next 2 days with experts from Israel and abroad. We also presented the evaluation to the President, and I quote what he said. In the past, I mentioned how the evaluation of INSS strengthens the democracy in Israel. And today I would like to add, says the President, the annual evaluation and the recommendations make together a very sober document which criticizes things that we do in the Israeli leadership. But together with that, if we read each and every line, we see that this is a real concern to the future and security of Israel. And because of that, the evaluation is an exemplary document of the first degree. And chapeau to all of you. Please continue this way for all of us. We thank the President wholeheartedly for his recognition of the constant efforts that are made in this institute in order to influence and to serve the decision makers in the highest echelons, both in Israel and abroad, in order to realize our targets. To you, the contributors and donors of the Institute, we thank you for your trust and your recognition of the importance of INSS to the State of Israel. Your generous donation enables us to maintain our position as the leading institute in Israel, one of the 20th institutes in the world. It's a great honor to call upon Frank Lowy, the chairman of INSS, to address us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends of INSS. I'm very happy to be here in the opening of the 12th conference of INSS. I welcome everyone who came from Israel and abroad to be with us in this festive evening. For me, personally, the conference this year is different than all others. Since this year, I am standing before you as an Israeli citizen. Yes, 2 months ago, I made Aliyah again to Israel. But because my Hebrew is still one of a new immigrant, with your permission, let me go over to English. And I hope that next week or next year, when there'll be a bar mitzvah to INSS, I'll be able to carry an entire speech in Hebrew, maybe.
Dear friends, today I stand here as an Israeli 72 years ago after a rickety sailing ship by the name of Yagur brought me to the port of Haifa from the ruins of Europe after the Holocaust. I have once again made Aliyah. This time I was not taken via to Cyprus, via the courtesy of the British Navy. When I reflect on the differences between the land of Israel in 1946 and the state of Israel in 2019, I am moved to my very core. My family was broken up in the Holocaust, and the remnants, including my mother, immigrated to Australia, and I joined them in 1952. During many years I spent in Australia, you built a country that has become an economic, technological, and regional powerhouse. You fulfilled Herzl's dream and Ben-Gurion's vision and turned Israel into a strong, thriving, and vibrant nation. But this wonderful nation still faces immense challenges. As we all know, Iran poses a constant threat, and as we hear on the news almost daily, the developments at the Syrian and Lebanese borders are worrisome. And as we saw over the last few months, Hamas and Gaza are problems that have not been yet solved. But worse still is the Palestinian challenge. As the great Israeli novelist Amos Moz said before his death, there is a real danger that the Jewish state will become a binational state, and we may even become a minority in our own state. This is why I am proud to be chairman of INSS. It is the reason why we all gathered here tonight and why we recognize and value the important work of INSS that is so expertly led by Amos Yadlin, together with Udi Dekel, Orly Hayardeny, and more recently by Itai Baron and their colleagues. More so than other nations, a nation under threat like Israel needs an independent and distinguished research institute to soberly examine the reality with which it must contend. A wonderful but tempestuous nation like Israel needs a rational, apolitical body with unwavering integrity to analyze the situation and offer ways to deal with these threats it faces. The INSS launches and engages innovative, relevant, high-quality research that shapes the public discourse of Israel's national security agenda. It also provides policy analysis and recommendations to decision-makers, public leaders, and the strategic community, both in Israel and the world. As part of its mission, it is committed to encourage new ways of thinking and expand the traditional contours of the establishment analysis. In order to safeguard the intellectual freedom of the staff, INSS maintains a strict position of non-partisanship and on issues of public policy. INSS researchers are guided by the 4 core values of professionalism, relevance, intellectual independence, and teamwork. Adhering to the highest standards of research and analysis, they are engaged in exploring the most pressing issues for Israel's national security. Over the last year, the INSS has focused on 4 threats I enumerated: Iran, Syria, Hezbollah, and Hamas. It also developed into the fight against the BDS movement and also relations with the Jews of diaspora. But its flagship project was a comprehensive plan that offers a strategic blueprint for the Israeli-Palestinian area. While the government continues to carry out a policy of managing the conflict, under the mistaken assumption that time is on our side. The INSS has tabled a realistic plan, neither right nor left-leaning, that does not gloss over the problems we face. The goal is not immediate peace, but to fortify the state of Israel, protecting its vital interest while maintaining a viable option of future separation. Not a solution, but a formulation of better future. At its heart is the understanding that we must share the stretch of land between the Mediterranean and the Jordan River with the Palestinians. We must advance towards the separation of these two peoples without foregoing fundamental security principles of Israel's character as a Jewish democratic state. This is a moral and Zionist duty. Dear friends, the INSS plan was presented to the Israeli public, its leadership, and to the governments of Europe, members of the US Senate, Congress, and the State Department, and prominent influential figures in the Arab world. I encourage you to study and discuss it. I believe that it offers a creative way to grapple with the significant strategic threats facing the State of Israel. I want to thank all of those who worked on it and all of the institutions' team who do such sterling work during the year. I would also like to thank the Tel Aviv University and its president, Professor Klafter, for a long and fruitful partnership. And I want to thank the members of the Institute's Board of Trustees from Israel and internationally, whose support allows the INSS to continue to attain these remarkable achievements. Excuse me for a moment.
As I started, let me end in Hebrew. For more than 50 years that I wasn't here, Israel was always on my mind and always inside my heart. I was concerned with it, I was happy with it, I supported it from far away. And little by little, I started coming back. I met very good friends here. I built a house with enough room for the entire family to come with me, and they did. And my granddaughter served in the IDF in a special unit. However, today I am here, and I'm very proud of the fact that I had the INSS, which made a great contribution to Israel, which I love so much. I wish all of us a very successful conference that will enrich the public discourse in Israel, and I also wish my old new country a brilliant future. Thank you very much.